Welcome to Fanfiction Audiobooks. Marvel, Master Ancient One, I'm going down. 021 Frozen. The shortcomings of ability, Professor X's ability is bound to win. Seek for flow. You froze the mirror space. Qin Hao heard what Ancient One said clearly. But at the moment, he was immersed in this powerful force. Just at that moment, the system sound rang. Ding! Frozen ability has been improved, absolute zero control. Fixed line binding. He checked his system. 5 Frozen, control absolute zero, continued development. The original freeze everything description has been changed to control absolute zero. Most importantly, this ability can continue to be developed. But Qin Hao has a feeling in his heart that he won't be able to develop it in a short time. Because he can't transform into Iceman's second form. Excited to him, at the moment continued to exude his power wantonly. Here is the mirror space. He was able to use this ability so recklessly. He wants to freeze all the mirror space opened by Ancient One. Ancient One felt an endless chill. Seeing that Qin Hao has no plan to stop using ability. With a decisive wave of her hand, she left the mirrored space directly. The cold air that followed even penetrated the secret door she opened. In Kamartaj's training ground, a pile of ice cubes suddenly appeared out of thin air. As Ancient One closed the secret door, the extension of the ice stopped. The situation here apparently caught the attention of Kamartaj's other mages. A piece of solid ice exuding a super cold air appeared on the training ground. Everyone wants to know what happened. Brother Modo at the moment came to Ancient One's side. Master Ancient One, what happened here? Ancient One turned to look at him. For a long time, the mirror space will not affect reality, that's because the power has not yet reached the level of destroying the mirror space. Your junior brother, Qin Hao, has mastered the power to destroy the mirrored space this time. After she finished speaking, there was chaos at the scene. What? How is it possible? Can junior brother Qin Hao destroy the mirror space? To what extent does this kind of power need to be achieved? Junior brother Qin Hao is a magical genius. Master, how did junior brother Qin Hao do it? Modo asked. His at the moment was shocked. The master said that Qin Hao is a magic genius, and he believed in the master's judgment. But he felt that if Qin Hao wanted to learn powerful magic, he needed a certain amount of time to learn it. The previous 2 years also verified his ideas. Qin Hao's study seemed very difficult. Because his language skills are not enough. But today, 2 years later, his strength can break through the mirror image space. This kind of thing is simply beyond the limit of his imagination. He's a genius. Ancient One just spit out this sentence in the end. Qin Hao did this? She doesn't know either. But this does not prevent her from thinking that Qin Hao is a genius. Able to observe the abilities a mutant casts, and then develop his own abilities. What is this kind of person not a genius? Since the other party can learn magic by observing mutant, then it's time to teach him more powerful and practical magic. For example, alchemy. Qin Hao froze the entire mirror space. It wasn't until at the moment that he stopped using the frozen ability. It's no wonder that Iceman needs to transform into a second form to unleash even greater power. This absolute zero force is a bit heavy on the body. His physical fitness may really be unable to resist the backlash of his own ability. But I don't have to care about these, my self-healing ability can easily repair the after effects of freezing. However, the release of this power takes a certain amount of time, which also limits the power of this power. Besides, when this power is not well controlled, it feels a bit indiscriminate. No wonder Iceman is reluctant to use it. With my current mental strength, I can't control it precisely. It seems that Professor X's spiritual ability is inevitable for me. Qin Hao at the moment felt a little tired physically. The release of such a powerful force from the body also places a great burden on his body cells. But he has self-healing, or self-healing after strengthening. so he can easily resist this sequelae. However, Qin Hao can only expect to be able to do it after absorbing the ability of Professor X for fine control. It's time to leave. A secret door was instantly formed. He took a step forward and came to the training ground. When he came out, he saw many senior brothers waiting for him with curious expressions. Even Ancient One stood quietly outside waiting. Master Ancient One, Brother Moto, what's wrong with you? Qin Hao, follow me. Ancient One turned around and left with Qin Hao. She is going to make a plan for him to practice next. When Qin Hao left, he heard exclamations from behind him. Did you see it just now? See, are those eyes? Should be. Junior brother Qin Hao released the freezing magic in the mirror space. No, Master Ancient One said that he can destroy the entire mirror space. Could it be that brother Qin Hao froze the entire mirror space? Impossible. It can be folded at will in the mirror space, how can it be frozen? Then, what's going on here? One question after another rang in their minds. This unscientific. Nor magic. 022 obtained Professor X and number 039's spiritual ability, Tony Stark was attacked. It took Qin Hao a lot of experience to deal with Ancient One's various arrangements. In a word, Ancient One will seriously teach Qin Hao's magic next. Let Qin Hao become a real supreme mage. Even Qin Hao's sling ring was confiscated for this. Early in the morning of the third day, Ancient One asked Moto to knock on Qin Hao's door. But when Moto entered the room, he didn't see Qin Hao at all. Master Ancient One, junior brother Qin Hao is not here. Hearing Moto's reply, Ancient One was full of bags. Where did this guy go? Find it, let the other mages look for it. He couldn't have gotten out of Camartage without the sling ring. The Ancient One got everyone looking. Everyone was startled into action. But this time, no one complained. Junior brother is a genius who can freeze the mirror space. With his presence, it will be much easier for the mage to resist the invasion of other dimensions. But no matter how many people searched, they couldn't find the other party's figure. Ancient One didn't know what to think, she went back to her room. Then it was discovered that Qin Hao's sling ring had disappeared. How did this kid do it? She thought about it, and went to pick up the Eye of Agamotto. Good morning, Charles. Qin Hao directly opened a secret door in Charles's office. Charles narrowed his eyes slightly. Mysterious Oriental Mage, good morning. Hey, what about Magneto and the others? Are they gone? Qin Hao casually found a topic, and then walked to Charles's side. By helping him push the wheelchair, I touched his body. Ding, Professor X's soul ability is detected, is it bound? Bind. An indescribable feeling rushed into Qin Hao's brain. Ah! Suddenly, his brain received a strong shock. This made him howl in pain. His mental power, which was originally not strong, rose crazily at the moment. Invisible's mental power spread out wantonly. A new form of contact beyond the normal senses appeared to him. Mental strength. The mental power that can wantonly leave the body. He clearly felt the position of everyone in Xavier's school. Even concentrating and being able to see everything they see. Able to read the memories in their heads. Able to transmit their own consciousness into their minds. You can even use your mental power to control their actions. All this becomes possible. But in the same way, the wanton spread of mental power made all tiny sounds like thunder. The voices of countless people and the consciousness in his mind are like data, which are constantly sent to his mind. In his mind, he was processing countless information at the same time. Confusion. Pain. Sad. Happy. Curse. Countless emotions made him almost collapse. This situation is exactly the reason why Professor X even wanted to abandon this ability. Even for this, even Apocalypse has been affected. Hey, mysterious Eastern mage, what's the matter with you? your mental power suddenly rose sharply just now. At this time, his mental power came into contact with another equally huge spiritual power. Charles? Professor X felt the change in Qin Hao. He directly awakened Qin Hao, who was still addicted to it in his spiritual power. Hearing Charles's voice, Qin Hao quickly restrained his mental power. With the return of spiritual power, Qin Hao returned to normal again. Oh, I'm sorry, I really didn't expect to come here and encounter such a situation. If I had known, I wouldn't be here today. This is just a kind of magic practiced by our Eastern mage. Being able to separate the mind from the body, they call it astral projection, I'm more used to calling it soul astral. When he finished speaking, Charles saw a scene that made his pupils shrink. The spirit body of this Oriental mage left the body. Then it returned to the body in an instant. Qin Hao, in order to dispel Charles's doubts, actively displayed the soul body for an instant. Charles saw Qin Hao's huge soul power. His whole body was full of shock. What he has been looking for is such power. This may be able to solve the problem of his huge mental power. Or try to help Phoenix. Your Oriental spells are really amazing. I already know that you should have analyzed Charles's magnetic field manipulation ability, and then turned into your Eastern magic. Now awakening this magic, your mental strength is not even below mine. At the moment, he can no longer spy on Qin Hao's thinking. Because of Qin Hao's mental strength, he can completely resist his prying eyes. Hey, it's okay, it's just awakening, and I couldn't hold back for a while. Charles, is something wrong? Just now we felt a huge spiritual force connecting us all. At this moment, Wolverine and the others rushed in. They felt the out-of-control mental power. I thought something was wrong with Professor X. Hi, everyone, I'm sorry, I practiced a magic just now, and it got a little out of control. Qin Hao at the moment took the initiative to explain to everyone. Oh, by the way, I still have something to do, I need to leave first. Qin Hao at the moment actively asked to leave. He mentally saw the newspaper in Charles's office just now. Tony Stark was attacked by a mysterious man on the racing track. When he left, the group of people still looked at each other. This mysterious Oriental mage is really interesting. Charles spoke thoughtfully. P.S. Chapter 19 was blocked because of the name Qin Hao, and I was in a bad mood all day. With the name Qin Hao, you can easily find a bunch of books. Primordial teaches Zun, savage comrades, Wu respects Sheng, and travels to another world to become a villain. This is the most commonly used name for an online novel, but it was blocked. Blocked? Can you believe it? The mood has been unable to calm down, uncomfortable. 023 bound armor? No, too spicy chicken. A secret door, Qin Hao came to Stark's seaside villa. He just came out of the secret door. I saw Tony Stark, who was replacing the core of the reactor. Ah! Tony was taken aback by Qin Hao's sudden appearance. Hi, Tony. Qin Hao spoke familiarly. Who are you? Where are you from? How did you show up? What did you want from me? Tony pressed the reactor into his chest. He subconsciously walked towards his armor. This mysterious Oriental came too suddenly. He has to get closer to his battle armor, maybe he has to fight the opponent. I'm mage from the east, don't worry, I heard that you were attacked, I came here to check. It seems to be all right, and those reports are so scary. Where is your assistant? Pepper isn't here, is Natasha Romanoff? Qin Hao asked casually. Stayed too long in Kamartaj. He had somewhat forgotten what this bustling city looked like. Come and see Tony's house, sure enough this is life. Moreover, Tony's home is so luxurious, I feel sorry for myself if I don't come to visit. What do you want them to do? When Tony heard Qin Hao's words, he became more and more nervous. Little Pepper is the woman who has followed him for a long time. Someone here seems to be trying to beat her up. This made him feel very uncomfortable. As for the other Natasha Romanoff who just came, also a beauty. As a playboy, he thinks this kind of beauty is also his prey. The result was also missed by this person. The visitor is not good. As for saying that he himself was attacked, he already knew who his opponent was. There was a reason for this incident, and the opponent was arrested. Is it possible? Is this from Ivan? Thinking of this, his spirit became a little tense. It's just for experience, let's see if you are really going to die by the way. Don't worry, I'm not Ivan's friend, that guy has nothing to do with me. Qin Hao said casually. Tony got even more nervous when he heard this. How does the other party know what I think in my heart? You didn't come here for Ivan, you've seen me too, can you leave now? Tony couldn't bear it any longer. As a rich man, a genius, a playboy, his own home was easily entered. My own woman is just looking at other people's mouths. One's own life and death are just to be seen in the eyes of others. How could he bear such a thing? It's okay, do you want to wear that thing? I don't bother with mud. Qin Hao watched Tony's movements, pointed at the armor next to him and said. The robotic arm quickly put the armor on Tony. Qin Hao watched the other party's movements, not intending to stop him at all. Now, allow you to reformulate the sentence, who are you? What are you doing here? Tony put on his armor, energy gathering in one hand. The roar of energy made him think he was the most powerful. At least temporarily he is. Is your armor metal? Qin Hao at the moment asked a strange topic. Hearing this, Tony thought Qin Hao was a lunatic. Hey, let me ask you again, who are you and what are you doing here? Your armor hasn't been set for anti-magnetic force, has it? Qin Hao then asked. Since you don't say it, let's catch you and say it. Tony attacked Qin Hao resolutely. But when he just wanted to move, he felt that his armor was out of control. Not only that, he was floating directly, moving towards Qin Hao. J.A.R.V.I.S, what's going on? An unknown force is controlling the mecha. J.A.R.V.I.S, injecting energy into the powertrain. Yes, energy to inject into the powertrain. Hey! A strong jet sound sounded. That is the power system of the armor has run to the limit. But nothing works. He still couldn't leave. J.A.R.V.I.S, what's going on? After the analysis, this force is a magnetic force. Our armor is affected by the magnetic force and cannot be separated. What? Tony's smart brain at the moment was also a little confused. Will it still be like this? Magnetic force? What magnetism could affect him here? Ding ding ding. At this moment, his metal mask was knocked. Tony, come out and let's have a good chat. At this time, he saw that Qin Hao was putting his head in front of his mecha helmet. Then ask him to go out and talk. Just when Qin Hao's fingers touched Tony's armor, a system sound rang in his head. Ding, Iron Man's steel battle suit is detected, whether to pick up the binding. Qin Hao frowned. This thing is too rubbish for him now. He is not interested. The upgrade version can be bound to a play. Not bound. Ding, give up the binding, the same type of armor is not bound. The system made its arrangements. Who are you? 024 Qin Hao's real purpose. Flesh across the void. Who are you? What is your purpose here? Tony, who was restricted in his movements and unable to leave, finally chose to lift his mask. His expression was extremely helpless. He is not very afraid. Because he was going to die anyway. But he was a little worried that Qin Hao would have a bad influence on other people. Such as small peppers. Qin Hao snapped his fingers, and then Tony regained control of the armor again. As I said, I am from the East, a mage from the East. I just read about your accident in the newspaper, so I came here to see if you were dead or not. In addition, let me tell you another news. It is estimated that Nick Fury will come to you soon. Even he will give you some of your father's things, which have something to save you. Although I know what it is, I don't want to say it yet. The communication between your father and son still has to be done by your father and son themselves. You. Tony was completely out of temper this time. At the moment, only he knew the shock in his heart. Just now J.A.R.V.I.S told him that he was affected by the magnetic field. And this place has always been normal, and it is impossible to be affected by the magnetic field. Then the final demerit excludes all impossibilities, and the most improbable is reality. The man in front of him can control or create a magnetic field. It might have surprised him at first. But after meeting the one-eyed man, he knew that there were more secrets behind this world. Since there is that kind of huge amounts of green tall. Now it is understandable to have a controlling magnetic field, right? And now, the man told him that he knew more. He even knows about S.H.I.E.L.D. He even knew what the other party was going to give his father. What exactly is going on? Forget it, I'll wait here, maybe I can meet Nick Fury. Well, Tony, why don't you entertain the guests with some tea or coffee? Chin Hao sat on the sofa by himself. He really has no interest in Tony Stark's armor. As a mage, Tony's armor really didn't suit him very well. So he didn't even bother to bind the opponent's armor. However, facing a super rich man on the technology side, Chin Hao still has a lot of ideas. Moreover, Black Widow in this time period looks very young, so you can look at it. There is another main reason. In this time period, several things are happening. Thor is estimated to be exiled to the Nether soon. Even the Green Titan and General Ross love and kill each other will be staged. And Captain America is to be found too. One thing after another, it all means that the Battle of New York is coming soon. Moreover, with the spiritual power of Professor X, at the moment Chin Hao's strength has been greatly improved again. If he wants to go out for a while, there will be fewer people in this world who can threaten him. If you have the strength, you will definitely have to make waves. Participation in those events is incidental. One of the things he wants to do most now is to get Tesseract. That thing has created a Carol who can completely control his own strength. Captain Marvel. The super boss who can physically cross the universe. At least in the movie world. Or Loki's scepter. That thing made Scarlet Witch. There's even Vision. He is very interested in cosmic magic and Loki's scepter. He really wants to know, if he is bound to the space Rubik's Cube, can he gradually become like Captain Marvel and travel across the universe physically? He also wants to know if he can get the same origin magic power as Scarlet Witch by binding the Mind Gem. No matter what, it can greatly improve his strength. Compared with the Phoenix Force that has been out of control, these two things. In fact, he doesn't know if they are any safer. After all, gems seem to be sexist. They selected only women. This is a bit uncomfortable. However, you can try it. He's here to meet Tony because he wants to get into S.H.I.E.L.D's site. Then look for opportunities to obtain these two things in a fair and honest manner. Like, when Loki snatched the Tesseract, he snatched it back. He also accepted his scepter conveniently. The only worry about this matter is that Ancient One will disagree. Their mage group already has a time gem. If they add two more, they will be under a lot of pressure. It is also possible that the strength will be greatly increased. He hasn't touched that time gem much. In the beginning, it was because he was too weak. He doesn't want to bind the time gem and Thanos kill him when he comes. After all, at that time, it took him a year to bind a sling ring and a longevity. Now he is not as powerful as Ancient One in terms of magic. The improvement of time gem to oneself is definitely not as great as the other two gems. He is going to decide on the strength of the physical body to cross the void. In case that doesn't work, look back and get Nick Fury to bring Captain Marvel back. Then he can touch it. Maybe that chance has a higher chance of success. 025 Where did you get this news from? What Qin Hao wanted was the power to cross the void with his physical body. He's here with Tony just to get acquainted with SHIELD. By the way, see if I can enjoy Tony's luxury life. These words, he definitely cannot say. At the moment, I can only communicate with Tony. Tony at the moment felt helpless in his heart. One idea after another appeared in his mind. Anti-magnetic armor. The armor after him must be anti-magnetic. Otherwise, if he meets Qin Hao again, he will still have no power to fight back. But then, he thought that he was going to die, so what kind of armor should he build? Even for this reason, he has set the armor to allow Rhodes to wear it. All of this is to prepare for his death. Sighing, he brought over 2 cups of coffee. A cup was placed in front of Qin Hao. You, no Nick Fury. I don't know each other, but I guess I will soon. You said, my father left me something? Is it true? Tony at the moment spoke nervously. He was about to die, and he really wanted to know what his father had left for him. Although this mage said that it won't be long before Nick Fury will send it to him. But the tension is still very disturbing. In his memory, his father didn't care much about him. Not even the words I love you. Even a little indifferent and calculating. The happiest time seems to be when I send myself to school. Perhaps at that time, he got rid of a trouble. But now that he heard the news, he couldn't help but want to ask a few more questions. Well, your father, like you, is so conceited that he is a bit unable to express due concern for others. You think about yourself, and then substitute your father, and you probably know what it feels like. Qin Hao is also willing to have sex with Tony. Tony thought about his own personality. Then I suddenly felt that I really seemed to be my inherited father. At the moment it hasn't been destroyed here, but the scars on Tony's face are still there. At this point in time, it should be before the war machine came. Also before Black Widow Natasha Romanoff told Tony whatever I want to do. Qin Hao silently calculated the moment in his heart. At this moment, Colonel Rhodes really walked down. When he saw the oriental face of Qin Hao, Rhodes looked a little curious. Tony, there's something up there, you have to deal with it. What he said was that after Tony was attacked at the racetrack, some people questioned whether Iron Man could still protect the safety of the people. Now, Iron Man needs to stand up to the people. At least one press conference. If it was before Qin Hao came, maybe Tony would have been disheartened. But at the moment, he seems to have new hope. At least he didn't intend to die until he got his father's stuff. Wait a minute, I still have things to deal with. Rhodes, you can help me with a little things first. Me and this Eastern mage, what's your name? Qin Hao. I still have something to discuss with this Qin Hao mage. Tony sent Rod away. Tony, why don't you give Nick Fury a try? Instead of waiting for him to deliver it to you, you might as well just ask him for it. Qin Hao reminded Tony. What he wants to do at the moment is to wait for Nick Fury to arrive. It's familiar. Looking back, I'm familiar with this place, and I went to New Mexico with Phil Coulson by the way. Mjolnir was more interesting there than Tony. Tony accepted the suggestion. Hey Nick Fury, did my dad leave you with something? Give it to me now. Nick Fury at s.h.i.e.l.d froze. During this time he knew about Tony's problem. At the moment they are figuring out how to help him. An injection to temporarily relieve Tony's condition has just been prepared. I was still preparing to find him. Help him heal himself, while sending some of his father's relics over. But, how did Tony know they had Howard Stark's stuff? Where did you know about this? Nick Fury asked. If they leaked it from s.h.i.e.l.d, then something is wrong. A mysterious mage of the East, he revealed to me. The mysterious mage of the East? Is he still there? Still, he came to me, it seems that he is waiting for you. Nick Fury brought his men to Tony's villa as quickly as possible. Qin Hao did some calculations, and the time was less than 2 hours. Tony, those things are left to you by your father, please take a good look, I can answer any questions. But now, I want to talk to this Oriental. Nick Fury saw Qin Hao, who was lounging around in Qin Hao's villa. A group of agents placed things in front of Tony. Inside are some video materials and paper documents. After dismissing Tony, Nick Fury looked at Qin Hao seriously. Mysterious Oriental, where did you get this news? 026 Fudge and Deterrence. Nick Fury. Mysterious Oriental, where did you get this news? Nick Fury asked seriously. Qin Hao's answer will determine Nick Fury's attitude towards him. Of course I have my sources, and I also know a lot of things you don't. We in the East have amazing hexagrams, just like your fortune tellers or prophets. We've seen part of the future, and there are things we need to work together. I came to you this time to discuss something. Qin Hao began to talk eloquently. Anyway, it doesn't cost much to ignore Hiruto. Divinator? Like a fortune teller and a prophet? What kind of picture do you see? Although Nick Fury doesn't know what a fortune teller is, he does know fortune tellers and fortune tellers. This power to predict the future is a powerful force. Although he doesn't really believe it, he doesn't deny certain special abilities. If the other party is really like this, then there is a problem. Can the future really be spied on? It won't be long before a hammer falls from the sky in New Mexico. Don't mess with that big green guy if he's okay, he's already trying to control himself, and messing with him will only drive him crazy. Oh, by the way, you are about to discover a frozen person, this person is a surprise. There are still many pictures, but you won't believe me when I tell you. So let me tell you these few things first, and it will be verified at that time, so trust me. Qin Hao started out as a magic stick. He only dared to say so much, because it is estimated that these things will happen truthfully. But not necessarily after that. With his personality, he must go around to see if he can bind more abilities. Maybe I will touch the Green Titan to see if I can learn to transform. It is also possible to touch Thor to see if he can bind divine power. This process is likely to trigger future changes. Nick Fury became a little dignified when he heard such words. Among other things, the big green guy must be talking about the Green Titan. It's normal for him to know about this matter, the incident caused by the Green Titan back then was not small. As for a hammer that fell from the sky, this is completely nonsense. How could a hammer fall from the sky? Could it be that there was an air crash? Thinking of this, his expression became more serious. Any air crash is no small matter. There are also frozen people, which is the most meaningless. You may find many frozen people in high mountains and glaciers. At most, this person's identity is a bit special. But it doesn't make sense, no matter how special it is still a dead man. What you said doesn't seem to make any sense. Although Nick Fury had preparedness and plans in mind. But he still said it. He will continue to test the other party. You don't have to test me, it's pointless, because soon you'll know what I mean. Qin Hao looked at Nick Fury. He didn't speak, but the words went straight into his mind. How did you do that? This time, Nick Fury was completely shocked. A person who can speak in his head, and even read his thoughts, is too dangerous. They s.h.i.e.l.d have too many secrets. If it is known and used by others, the world will be in chaos for a while. It doesn't matter how I did it, what matters is what you do next. Do you really want your men to catch me? Let me tell you, none of the agents you are here today is my opponent. Qin Hao's words were still echoing in his mind. He was deliberately provoking Nick Fury. Let the other party lose his temper first, and then wait for him to calm down and think back and forth about what he said, so as to deepen the impression. Really? But we still want to try. Nick Fury was shattered by Qin Hao, and he didn't feel embarrassed. Because knowing that Tony has someone here who knows something about their SHIELD. They were ready when they came. Countless agents at the moment are ambushing around Tony's villa, waiting to rush in and take down this mysterious Oriental man at any time. Then try it, I have something to tell you after the test. Qin Hao knows that with a guy like Nick Fury, you won't believe him just by telling him. It is better to reveal a little power appropriately. Nick Fury made a cryptic gesture. A group of agents rushed in with guns. Even Hawkeye and Black Widow are there. Hey, put your hands up. Hawkeye spoke first. His arrow was already aimed at Qin Hao. As long as he dares to make a change, he will do it directly. I don't think it's necessary. After Qin Hao finished speaking, he smiled strangely. Then Nick Fury saw a weird scene. Everyone at the scene seemed to be still. The bow-drawing Hawkeye remained motionless in the bow-drawing posture. Black Widow's feet are spread apart, showing a posture of attacking at any time. A group of agents at the moment have already targeted Qin Hao. But their actions were directly fixed to this scene. Over there Tony is flipping through a paper file. The material that was about to be shaken was suspended in mid-air, as if it would never be shaken. In the entire scene, only Qin Hao and Nick Fury could act. Nick Fury, I'm only telling you about this matter. I hope you will rot everything in your stomach after you know. 027 I want to make a tanfa. Discovered by Ancient One. Nick Fury's feeling of shock at the moment was no less than that of going to space for the first time. All the people around were immediately frozen. Only the person in front of him and himself can act. This kind of thing is difficult for him to understand. How so? Nick Fury, I'm only telling you about this matter. I hope you will rot everything in your stomach after you know. Qin Hao's words echoed constantly in his ears. What's up? He blurted out subconsciously. Did you know that this world is divided into the material world and the magical world? U.S.H.I.E.L.D. are all about maintaining peace in the physical world. In other words, your activities are all in the material world. And what mage like me has to do is to maintain and block the invasion from the magical world. In fact, we have prevented numerous crises in places unknown to you. I came to see you this time to tell you that you have to make preparations in advance. The following world will become less peaceful. If it is necessary to enter the fruit, you must call Carol back in advance. Qin Hao is like a magic stick telling Nick Fury some incomprehensible words. However, the information he revealed was so amazing. Nick Fury's inner shock at the moment is only known to him. Carol. Captain Marvel. This mage from the East, how could he even know this kind of thing? Could it be that he is really a hexagram master? Can predict the future and the past? What a mysterious Oriental man! Nick Fury began to waver in his own guesses. What kind of danger will happen in the future? Carol needs to come back. As a mature agent leader. After his initial shock, he quickly adjusted his state of mind. At this time, the most important thing is to set out more content to the other party. What is the magical world like? There are still many unknown things in the world I live in. What happened in the future? Why do you need Carol back? Of all the heroes he knew today, none possessed such terrifying strength as Carol. It is possible to fly in the flesh. Can emit energy. It can even fly freely in outer space. Also able to fly faster than the speed of light. This ability after another is not available to all observers recorded today. Tony's armor can fly, but he was originally a crispy skin. That green fat man's physical body is enough. But he can't fly, and he can't emit energy. The other agents are just common people. If Carol needs to be used in the future, is the world already facing a crisis of destruction? And the mage on the opposite side said that they prevent the erosion of the magical world. Will they stop this crisis by hand? Or in other words, they are already unable to stop it, so they want me to find Carol? As expected of the agent leader, with Qin Hao's words, he thought of countless possibilities. Qin Hao, who was reading the other party's mind, was incredulous. But it's better, because he attaches great importance to Fang Yu, maybe he will really call Carol back in advance. And the sooner he can touch Carol. Tut tut. The ability to cross the void with the flesh, this is my dream. To get rid of mage yourself is a tradition of crispy skin. My dream is a tanfa. It has the same fleshiness as a tank, and the same attack as a mage. Don't worry, probably in a few days, you will know what I mean. At that time, when we have a preliminary foundation of trust, we will talk about other things. Next, I will let them go, and you tell them not to shoot randomly. Definitely, it's useless to shoot anyway. Qin Hao said. Okay, I get it. Nick Fury nodded in agreement. Crack. His spirit shook. Hawkeye, it seems that the other party is a bit disobedient. Natasha Romanoff's voice rang in Nick Fury's ears again. Nick Fury looked at the people around him, as if they didn't know that the time had stopped just now. They are still working hard to surround Qin Hao and get close to Qin Hao. Want to capture each other. At the moments Nick Fury felt a lot of fear of mage in front of him. Stop! Nick Fury hurriedly uttered a voice to stop everyone. All the agents looked at Nick Fury strangely. In their cognition. Just now Nick Fury made a gesture to come over and take down the opponent. But now they are told to stop immediately. What exactly is going on? However, as agents obeying orders, at the moment they also lowered their guns subconsciously. Hawkeye also loosened his bow. They waited for Nick Fury to explain why. Tony, who was looking at the inheritance left by his father, heard the movement on the side. Hey guys, don't fight with me if you want to fight, and you may not be able to fight others. Tony is a little afraid that the world will not be chaotic. This mysterious oriental mage can manipulate its own armor. The agents here use metal bullets. Can they hurt this mage? He was skeptical. But at this moment, a circle of shining yellow light flashed in Tony's home. On the opposite side of the ring, a bald mage looked at Qin Hao with an unfriendly expression. In the blink of an eye, you ran away. 028 Show the powerful spiritual power to Ancient One. In the blink of an eye, you ran away. Behind the gate of the secret method, surrounded by high mountains, the building is simple and simple. At a moment inside, he looked at Qin Hao with a slightly angry face. All the agents saw the space door and the bald head behind the door suddenly appearing. They pointed their guns at each other. My own people, don't shoot. Qin Hao hurriedly exited to stop everyone. In fact, he can directly manipulate the thinking and actions of everyone. But at the moment he didn't want to use it. Just talk to Nick Fury, used it once. Humph, it has nothing to do with you. The bald head snorted softly. With a wave of her hand, the secret door moved towards Qin Hao. In the blink of an eye, Qin Hao and the door of the secret method disappeared directly in front of everyone's eyes. Oh shit, is this magic? An unbelievable sound came from an agent's mouth. No, it's magic. Nick Fury said affirmatively. After all, he had seen more incredible things just now. Magic. It's magic. That's how he came to me. Tony looked at Dongfang Mage who suddenly disappeared before his eyes and said. At the moment, I feel more and more that maybe my father really left something for me that can save my life. At least now, he is really full of confidence. Besides, if it doesn't work, you can still find this mysterious oriental mage. Oh my god, I actually saw magic. No, I think it's a bit beyond my 3 views. Me too, I have to be quiet. Because of the arrival of Qin Hao, the 3 views of all agents have been refreshed. But there were two people with strange expressions on the scene. Nick Fury and Tony Stark. The moment Qin Hao saw Ancient One, he knew he was going back to the mountain again. Then he left a number for the two of them with his mental power. He can be reached at this number. For him, being idle is also being idle. In case the other party needs me, I can go out and make waves. S.H.I.E.L.D has a lot to offer. Attention everyone, today's incident has been adjusted to a level 7 incident, and everyone is silent. Everyone became serious when they heard Nick Fury's words. This level is a bit high. Compared with other people, Nick Fury's inner shock is the biggest. He didn't know if time stopped just now. If it is, the opponent is so powerful, it is really difficult for my own agent to cause any harm to the opponent. Fortunately, it seems that the other party did not show hostility. Are the words the other party said really meaningful? Qin Hao looked at Ancient One in front of him. She carries the Eye of Agamotto on her chest. This attire rarely appears. You know, when Caecilius was fighting Ancient One, she didn't wear the Eye of Agamotto. Only during the Battle of New York, Ancient One prevented scattered objects from attacking Holy Place. She took the Eye of Agamotto to block all attacks on the roof. This time, the other party came to him with the Eye of Agamotto. An ominous premonition appeared in his heart. Could it be that what kind of crisis was caused when I left? As a time traveler, Ancient One didn't let me leave, was it really to avoid a crisis? As soon as I left, something happened? Fuck. Can't really be like this? Master Ancient One, what happened? Qin Hao spoke with some trepidation. You're good at running? I took your sling ring, and you can get it back. If it weren't for the Eye of Agamotto, I'd really be lucky to find you. I told you to learn magic from me on the mountain, and when you become the Supreme Mage, you can go wherever you want. You still don't listen, do you want me to bind you with magic? Ancient One was obviously really a little angry this time. Hearing this, Qin Hao was finally relieved. It's not just because you run around and cause a crisis. Looking for myself, I actually need to bring the Eye of Agamotto. Tut tut. Generous. In fact, I actually want to try it because I have learned another powerful spell, do you believe it? Qin Hao began to find reasons and excuses for himself to go out. You have learned another powerful spell? Then I really want to see, what have you learned? Looking good. After Qin Hao finished speaking, his body trembled. Immediately afterwards, his soul was directly separated from his body. Astral projection. Soul astral. If it was just that, Ancient One would have known it long ago. But this time, she saw a different scene. It was a scene that shocked her heart. Qin Hao's soul possesses great power. This kind of powerful power is not even much smaller than her soul power. You know, her soul has been tempered for hundreds of years. Experienced various erosions of the dark dimension. After countless battles, it gradually grew to the present. However, why does this apprentice possess such terrifying spiritual power? Could it be that the inborn magical constitution is so terrifying? He is a man favored by God. Only she knows the shock in Ancient One at the moment's heart. No, the more this is the case, the more the position of the Supreme Mage will be handed over to him. Can't let him out until he has learned all his powers. Qin Hao, who didn't know what Ancient One was thinking, spoke at the moment very proudly. Master Ancient One, how are you doing? I've done a good job going down the mountain this time. 029 different dimensional invasion? No, it's Thor's advent. Master Ancient One, I went down the mountain this time, and I have gained a lot. Yes, your harvest is very good, so next, you stay on the mountain and learn all my magic. You can't waste your constitution magic. Your frequent downhills will only make you lose your eyesight. Just like those disciples. When Ancient One said this, her expression was a little gloomy. Caecilius, a disciple with good strength, was bewitched by Dormammu. Qin Hao was completely anxious when he heard Ancient One's words. I show you my strength because I want to tell you that not only will my going down the mountain not affect my practice, but it will also allow me to practice faster. But how did it change when I came to you? How did you lose your eyes? We in the East have always had a saying that it is better to travel thousands of miles than to read thousands of books. I have read the book for 2 years, and now is the time to travel thousands of miles. As long as I persist in going out and wandering, no, as long as I persist in traveling thousands of miles, my strength will definitely continue to improve. Staying on the mountain, you also saw that I haven't improved my strength much in the past 2 years. Qin Hao started to do ideological work for Ancient One. I have to do ideological work. Otherwise, wouldn't this be the end of the calf? If you really want to be bound by Ancient One's magic, you don't want to lose face. But can Ancient One still restrain himself now? I have such a strong mental power, and I have absolute zero control. She bound me with magic, I should be able to freeze all the magic energy she communicated, right? Qin Hao at the moment had this nonsensical thought in his head. And at the moment, he suddenly realized that his strength seemed to have surpassed most of his senior brothers. No, perhaps his own strength is already number 1 under Ancient One on this mountain. Upon hearing Qin Hao's words, Ancient One actually hesitated this time. She practiced here because of the Oriental culture. Read thousands of books and travel thousands of miles. This is all necessary. Because of her long years, she has countless hours to study. She can also use the time gem, and can even see an endless future once in a while. In this kind of peeking into the future, she can still get countless revelations, so as to practice more and stronger magic power. However, this little apprentice should not have such a long time. Is it necessary to let him also absorb the power of the black dimension to prolong his life? No. No. With such a detached personality, he will definitely not be able to withstand the temptation of Dormammu. Could it be that he was really allowed to go his own way? Ancient One is a little lost. This was something that rarely happened in her years. All along, her confidence has been extremely firm. This enables her to withstand the temptation of a dark universe dimensional lord like Dormammu. Not only can he absorb the strength of the other party, it can also use this power to resist the opponent. With such a firm will, at the moment was actually lost in this apprentice. At this moment, her expression changed. Humph, the dimensional wall has been opened. Who dares to invade the earth? Qin Hao's expression changed when he heard that. Then, Master Ancient One, where is the dimensional wall opened? He couldn't feel the opening of the dimensional wall. Not to mention what invaded Earth. Only at the moment did he know that even if he got the spiritual power of Professor X, he couldn't compare to Ancient One. In that direction, a powerful force broke through the dimension just now, and now something has entered the Earth. Ancient One explained to Qin Hao what she felt. At that moment just now, a powerful force pierced through the dimensional void. Let something with great power enter the earth. There is another thing that seals power, and it also entered the earth together. I'll take you to have a look. After Ancient One finished speaking, he drew a secret door. The door of this secret method opened in the sky on the other side. The two did not step through the door of the secret law, but looked from the door of the secret law. Below is a huge amounts of circular pit. There seems to be something in the middle of the pit. Qin Hao looked at the scene in front of him, his brows raised. Is this Mjolnir? He just told Nick Fury that there was something going on here. As a result, the Ancient One Master here directly sensed the arrival of Mjolnir. It has to be said that Ancient One has been committed to resisting the invasion of other dimensions. Very sensitive to this breaking of dimensions. Although Asgard and the Earth belong to the 9 realms. But this kind of long-distance transmission using Bifrost really breaks the limitation of space. Ancient One looked at Mjolnir on the ground, frowning slightly. She didn't see Qin Hao's strange expression beside her. Instead, he began to introduce the origin of this thing to Qin Hao. Qin Hao, since I have seen the following, let me explain to you some things you should know. The thing below is called Mjolnir, an artifact created by the king of God Odin. This hammer has been in the hand of his son Thor since I knew it. His son was called Thor. But what the hell is Odin doing? How did Mjolnir get thrown to earth? As for Odin, she only heard his name but never saw him. Not sure what exactly Odin at the moment is trying to do. No, maybe he is educating his own children. 030 Nick Fury's shock. What Mage said was true. No, maybe he is educating his own children. Qin Hao heard Ancient One's speculation, and Qin Hao said something casually. Ancient One's strength is very strong. But because she has been dealing with the crisis of magic and the attack from the dimension, so she only has a preliminary understanding of the king of God like Odin. By the time she became Supreme Mage, Odin was already in his old age. His old age is a bit long. Ancient One heard Qin Hao's words. With a wave of his hand, a green light appeared on his hand. Then, she seems to be constantly looking into the future. After a while, her whole body returned to normal again. You are right, it is Odin who is educating his son. Has your prophecy become so proficient? It can even be used at will, even the Eye of Akhmeto is not needed? Does the magical constitution really have such a terrifying ability? Ancient One's eyes fell on Qin Hao in amazement. Sure enough, the natural magic constitution is really powerful. Then, her originally wavering thoughts became firm again. For such a person, it is better to practice in camouflage. Qin Hao didn't know, every time he showed something special, Ancient One would associate it with the inborn magical constitution. He learned Magneto's magnetic manipulation and Iceman's freezing. He was regarded by Ancient One as having a special ability to analyze magic. Able to dissect the power of a mutant and turn it into magic. He absorbed the power of Professor X, and was considered by Ancient One to have the powerful spiritual power only possessed by the magic constitution. Now casually speaking about Thor, Ancient One attributed this prophecy to his magic constitution. Qin Hao never imagined. The stronger he is, the more Ancient One thinks he is the material of Supreme Mage. The more ability Qin Hao shows, the more Ancient One thinks that the opponent should learn camouflage's magic first. In order to go down the mountain, Qin Hao will continue to show his ability. In order to make Qin Hao the Supreme Mage, Ancient One will constantly ask him to learn the magic of camouflage. This is simply infinite nesting dolls. Besides, I can only know a little fragment. Qin Hao really dare not admit this. He just saw a little bit of it. Ancient One waved his hand, and the secret door disappeared. Next, you will study hard with me, and I will guard you personally. Ancient One played hard this time. Qin Hao felt bad when he heard this. I've been talking for a long time, why don't I let myself go down the mountain? Even now it's getting worse and you have to guard yourself personally. He couldn't figure it out. But he glanced at his system. It only takes a few hours to bind Professor X's mind ability. It will be a long time before the next binding. At the moment, learn from the Master of Ancient One. Just look back and think about what ability I will bind next time. Tony immersed himself in researching the documents left by his father Howard. This time, it didn't even take Nick Fury's persuasion. This saved him a lot of trouble. When Nick Fury left Tony's villa area with the agents, the scientists of S.H.I.E.L.D. sent him a special document. Just now their space monitoring satellite discovered an object with special energy, which fell directly from the sky to New Mexico. Seeing this information, Nick Fury froze. He remembered what the mysterious Oriental mage said not long ago. It won't be long before a hammer falls from the sky in New Mexico. And now, they really monitored something landing in New Mexico. Not sure if that was the hammer though. But in his heart, there was a strong guess. That's a hammer. He dialed Phil Coulson directly. Phil Coulson, fly the plane immediately, head to New Mexico. Confirm that the thing that fell from the sky there is not a hammer. Confirm as quickly as possible. The level of this event is level 7. When Phil Coulson received the call from Nick Fury, his face straightened. Okay, head. Hours later, Phil Coulson came to where Mjolnir fell. This time, he was much earlier than in the movie. Even the residents of this neighborhood haven't had time to discover it yet. The plane landed in this barren land. After getting off the plane, Phil Coulson rushed to the deep pit in a few steps. A hammer was falling steadily into it. After counter-confirmation, Phil Coulson called Nick Fury. Hey, head, here's really a hammer. He admired Nick Fury more and more at the moment. It is actually possible to judge that this is a hammer just by relying on the data of scientists. Sure enough, a head is a head. Shocked, Nick Fury answered the call from Phil Coulson. Mysterious Eastern Mage speaks the truth. 031 Pepper's Horror. Tony, are you dying? Mysterious Eastern Mage speaks the truth. Boss, what did you say? Phil Coulson on the other end of the phone looked curious. Nothing, bring this hammer back. Nick Fury said in a deep voice. He at the moment has basically believed the words of the Eastern Mage. Since it is true, there must be something special about this hammer. For things like this, it's best to bring back SHIELD. But, head, we can't handle this hammer at all. Phil Coulson's tone was a bit strange. Can't hold it? What do you mean? This hammer seems to grow on the ground. We thought of various ways, but we couldn't move it at all. It didn't work for us to pull it with a cart. We even dug out the soil below, and as a result, the hammer pressed down along the place where it fell. Then, we still couldn't lift it at all. Now we all want to blow it up with dynamite. There is disbelief in Phil Coulson's voice. They used all their strength, but the hammer fell to the ground in a different way. Is this hammer so special? At this time, Nick Fury felt that this matter was not easy. Boss, I'm wondering if this thing is prepared for people like Carol, otherwise it's impossible to even pick it up. Phil Coulson voiced his guess. Carol. Hearing this name, Nick Fury's heart skipped a beat again. He touched the BB machine that he carried with him. Could it be that you want to call Carol back? No, at the moment is not the time to call Carol back. Just wait, if it really doesn't work, call before it's too late. Maybe you can ask that mysterious Oriental mage about this matter first. You are collecting information about this hammer over there, and tell me what you find. If anyone can pick up this hammer, remember him. It is best if you can invite, but if you can't, don't force it. In case of danger, don't fight recklessly, I will arrange the rest. Nick Fury quickly made the next arrangements. Dongfang Mage has revealed so much news to himself. The rest is how to use it. He began to constantly arrange the next thing in SHIELD. Hey, why did all these things come together? Whether Tony can be saved or not depends on himself. At least some of the information about his father left by S.H.I.E.L.D. can give him hints. But whether he can find something to save himself is still uncertain. Originally, I said to solve Tony's matter first, but now there is another hammer matter. Is this world really going to be uneven? Nick Fury felt extremely depressed in his heart. And the Tony he was talking about, at the moment, was full of question marks. He has read the information Howard left him. Tony, you are still too young to understand these things, so I took a video for you. These are all built for you. One day, you'll see that these represent more than just inventions. It is my life's painstaking effort. It is the key to the future. I'm limited by the technology of this day and age, but I hope you can fix it someday. When you do, you will change the world. The most successful creation of my life is none other than you, Tony. After watching this video, Tony felt a little heavy, but more joyful. My father never said I love you to myself. But he left himself the most precious wealth. Now, what he has to do is to manufacture what his father left behind. So, he continued to look at what Howard had left for him. However, it took him a day and a night to memorize all the information in his mind, and he didn't find anything related to what Howard said. The key to the future. What the hell am I missing? He doubted his own intelligence. You know, he's a genius who can talk to Dr. Banner after spending a night studying gamma rays. There is not much information left by his father. But why didn't I find out? Hey Tony, can you take a break? Little Pepper came to his room after finishing his work in the company. She didn't know what was wrong with Tony. He has been at home since being attacked at the racetrack. After the guy named Nick Fury gave Tony some relics that he said were from Tony's father. Tony was even more immersed in it. It has been a day and a night without rest. This made her feel distressed. Honey, the mysterious Oriental mage, and Nick Fury told me that my father left me something that would save my life. But I searched for so long and found no clues at all. What? Save your life? Do you mean you're going to die? When Little Pepper heard Tony's words, her whole body blew up. 032 Pepper's help. So simple? Seeing the Little Pepper fried, Tony realized that he had said the wrong thing. This news should not have been told to Little Pepper. He tried his best to hide it from the other party and let the other party take over the company. I just hope that the company can continue to operate after my death. But he just slipped his tongue. What the hell is going on? Tell me, why are you dying? You asked me to run the Stark Collective for you. You sell your stock. Is it because you are dying? Why? Could it be the reactor in your chest? Little Pepper is a smart person, and he thought of these things in an instant. She has been feeling that Tony is not normal these days. It was lifeless, and it seemed that there were some urgent things waiting to be done. But she never thought that this matter was. He is going to die. Tony is going to die. If this news gets out, the entire Stark group is going through some super turmoil. These are small things. Tony was dying, that was the big deal. Well, let me tell you, I now need a new element to try and fix this reactor problem in my chest. If it can't be solved, those countless small metals that were blasted last time will enter other places in my body. In that case, I will die. Nick Fury told me there might be clues in my dad's stuff. The mysterious Oriental mage also told me that there are clues in it. But he said he wanted me to find it myself, and he didn't tell me. But I've been searching for so long, but I haven't found any clues at all. Tony said what he had been hiding for a long time in one breath. At the moment he finally felt relieved. This feeling of being alone and unable to tell the person you love the most is really uncomfortable. Perhaps. Is it the same for my own father? An inexplicable idea appeared in his mind. You mean, that mage in the East knew but didn't tell you? Pepper took the point from Tony's words. Yes. If he doesn't tell you, you can ask him. Since he revealed the news to you, he definitely doesn't want you to die. If you can't find any clues, then seek help immediately. But, I'm Tony Stark, I'm a genius, I'm going to ask for help. Tony obviously couldn't accept this fact. When is it? Still thinking about this? Give me his contact information, and I'll come find him. Pepper was completely mad at Tony's way of trying to save face and suffer. Tony gave Chenhao's number to Pepper with half push. Pepper was looking for it, not me. Ancient One and Chenhao stayed in the mirror dimension for a day and a night. The powerful souls of the two are doing various magical attempts in the mirror dimension. This kind of face-to-face discussion is much more efficient than Chenhao's reading in the past 2 years. At least he has a little idea of the opening of the mirror dimension that Ancient One has been explaining to him. Definitely, just a little bit. In the mirror dimension, it is the spirit body again. The two can practice without eating, drinking, or sleeping. But the truth is impossible. Ancient One must monitor the real world at all times. She will return to the real world after a while. After a day and a night, Ancient One left from the mirror dimension. Qin Hao then also left the mirror dimension. Just after returning to the real world, Qin Hao's cell phone rang. "Hello, who is it?" Finally got through. "Hello, are you Qin Mage?" A female voice came over the phone. "Some anxious. Some luck." Qin Hao was puzzled, he had never left a number for a woman. "I am, who are you?" "I'm Pepper, Tony's former assistant, now in charge of Stark Industries." Pepper. Qin Hao was a little surprised when he heard the name. How is this going? How could she call herself? Did something happen to Tony? You can call me that, in fact, I'm here for help this time." Tony researched all the things his father had left him, and couldn't find a solution to his current predicament. "So now I want to ask you for help, can you help him?" Little Pepper spoke out her thoughts in one breath. At the moment, she was also full of apprehension. What if the other party refuses to agree? When Qin Hao heard the other party's words, at the moment he was completely confused. He didn't discover the secrets of the Stark Industrial Complex. The secret of Stark Industrial Base. Pepper was also puzzled. That's right, it's the 3D map of the huge amounts of industrial base in the office. No, he has been researching at home since he got the information, and he has never left the door. Hearing Xiaojiali's answer, Qin Hao seemed to understand something. You let him scan the 3D map, and with his ingenuity, he will understand it soon. It's that simple. Little Pepper was a little unbelievable. That's right, it's that simple. 033 Qin Hao's reflection. Binding weather control. Pepper hung up the phone. What did Mage say? Tony looked nervous. He said, just scan the 3D map of the Stark Industrial Base. Stark Industrial Base. One thing suddenly occurred to Tony. In the video left by his father has been standing in front of the model of the Stark Industrial Base. He told himself that it was all built for him. Then he told himself that, limited by the technology of his time, he couldn't do it. If it is just an industrial base, it cannot be realized. Well, this industrial base stands for something else. Tony realized it instantly. Pepper, I love you, you are my lucky star, I am going to get back the 3D map of the industrial base. Tony does what he thinks. The next thing becomes very simple. Go to the company and retrieve the 3D map of Stark Industries. Go back to the villa and let J.A.R.V.I.S scan it again. Next, after all kinds of fancy operations, a brand new element appeared theoretically. Oh, my God, I didn't expect that, Dad, you are dead and still teaching me. Looking at the new element in his hand that appeared because of the Stark Industrial Park, there was a burst of emotion in Tony's heart. Sure enough, the mysterious Oriental mage was right. His father was just as proud as himself. But he left me a good legacy. Perhaps, I can educate my son in the future in the same way. There is also the mysterious Oriental mage, which is really amazing. It seems that when you solve your own affairs, you should thank the other party properly. However, the new element of synthesis cannot be synthesized now. J.A.R.V.I.S analyzed all current technologies. Some said with a splash of cold water. Oh, is it? Then get ready to go back to the hard times. After Tony finished speaking, he began to renovate his villa crazily. Qin Hao, who is missed and thanked, at the moment is reviewing why Tony didn't find new elements. I went to find him and told him about his father leaving him something. Then let him call Nick Fury to get those materials. As a result, he has no time to be decadent and presumptuous. Little Pepper was not disappointed with him either. So this caused him not to go to the office to apologize to Pepper. Also missed the opportunity to discover that huge amounts of industrial map. At the same time, Colonel Rhodes was not disappointed in him. Then the launch of War Machine was also changed by myself. Then the future seems to be about to change. Thinking of this, Qin Hao felt a little bad all over. The future has changed so much, so will Thanos come in a few years? Did Ancient One Mage die after Doctor Strange came? This change changed all his judgments about the future. In the future, all the things in my mind will be inaccurate. Although he had prepared before that the future will change, and the plots he has watched will be countless. But never has at the moment been so deeply felt. Even before yesterday, he was thinking about getting Nick Fury to call Carol back and pet him. At that time, he only wanted to improve his strength. I didn't even think about the other problems after the change. Or so he thinks changing the future is no big deal. I have my own system. His own strength is crazily improving. So you can do whatever you want. But at this time, can I deal with Thanos? His army has a strong attack power. What if he chooses not to attack on the ground, but to wash the ground with shells? You can't survive in space by yourself. Why deal with that kind of attack? One question after another kept flashing in his mind. Perhaps, it's time for me to try to master the time gem. If you master the time gem yourself, can you make some corresponding preparations? At some critical moments, can I make more reasonable choices? But the time gem is now on the Ancient One Master. There is no chance for now. Go to Xavier's school today and bind an ability first. After muttering, Qin Hao waved his hand. A secret door appeared instantly. Mysterious Oriental Mage, here again. As soon as Qin Hao arrived at Xavier's school, Professor X's spiritual power spread over him. Ha, yes, anyway, I have nothing to do when I'm free, and it's convenient to come and go, so I came here to have a look. Tisk tisk, I have something to do with Storm today, and I want to ask her where it has been snowing a lot recently where we live. Is there a way to reduce the snowfall a little bit? Qin Hao's nonsense came out of his mouth. Originally, he could use his mental power to search directly. But in order to show respect for X's fight, he didn't do it. Okay, I'll send Storm over. It didn't take long for Professor X's mental power to recede, and the figure of Storm appeared in front of Qin Hao's eyes. Qin Hao saved Professor X. Also rescued numerous little mutants. His reputation in X-Men is full. Storm was also very grateful to him. Hi Storm, see you again. After he finished speaking, he reached out and shook hands with the other party. Ding, Storm weather control is detected, is it bound? Binding. 034 The shock of Storm, Yu Dongfeng Mage is too powerful. Binding. Ding, bind Storm weather control ability. As soon as Qin Hao finished speaking, a strange force appeared in Qin Hao's body. This is a special ability that can communicate with one's own emotions and consciousness to achieve weather changes. Heaven and earth empathize. If I am angry, the world will be angry. There was a strong wind. Heavy rain and thunder. Lightning raged. The sea is churning. If I am happy, the world will be happy. The sky is clear. It was sunny and sunny. Sunny. The blue waves are rippling. It's just that Storm's current strength doesn't seem to be able to control such a powerful force. But now it's all about Qin Hao. Qin Mage, I heard from Professor X, you think there is a lot of wind and snow in your place, do you need me to help you out? Storm spoke enthusiastically. This mysterious Oriental Mage helped them. It seems that they don't want anything except to come here every day to see them. It made them feel a little too sorry for him. Finally, there is a little place that can help each other. I definitely want to help myself. Well, I just want to ask, if you manipulate the wind and snow to dissipate, will this kind of celestial phenomenon that has not been vented normally come back? Qin Hao got the power he wanted. Then the nonsense started. It's possible, because I'm manipulating a small-scale celestial phenomenon. And it is a short-term manipulation, so if it is really a large-scale weather change, even if I manipulate it, it will come back later. On this point, Storm wasn't lying. After her ability is released, the celestial phenomenon she just changed will be restored quickly. After all, short-term manipulation is completely different from long-term manipulation. And, for her, manpower is exhausted. And the power of heaven and earth is infinite. Forget it, on our mountainous land, the wind and snow cover several mountain ranges, so it's better not to change the sky casually. Otherwise, when Aki's violent power swept over them in the end, they would really do bad things with good intentions. Qin Hao had a look of regret. It was as if he had an answer he didn't want to know. Sorry. Storm apologized to Qin Hao with regret. Because she didn't help the other party. No, I thought it was too simple, but fortunately I came to you to ask. If I did this recklessly, I would be in trouble. Qin Hao accidentally revealed a piece of news. You can also do things that change the sky. Storm asked in surprise. You know, this is her signature power. The mysterious Oriental mage says he can do it too. It's just unbelievable. In our Oriental spells, there are indeed some powers that can affect celestial phenomena, but it is very difficult to practice this kind of power. Even among our mage clan, few can do it. I also just learned it not long ago, and I wanted to try it in Camartage. But thinking about it might be dangerous, so I came here to ask you. Qin Hao said without shame. There is no sense of shame that the weather control ability has just been bound, and everything is bragging now. It has to be said that as his strength gradually strengthened, his skin is getting thicker and thicker. You mage from the east, are amazing. Storm was shocked when he heard Qin Hao's words. The shock in her heart is only known to herself. They are mutants. The X gene in their genes makes them the most special human beings. This is what they are proud of. It is also where they are sad. Each of them has a different ability. As a result, I met an Oriental mage. He can do everything. No X gene. Just study. Magic. Amazing. She never thought about it, since Dongfang mage could learn this. Then someone must know the function and side effects of this ability. There are people who don't ask. Run up and ask her for a mutant. What kind of mysterious operation is this? It's a pity she didn't think of it. At the moment, she was completely immersed in the mystery and power of the Eastern Mage. I can open that kind of portal and go where I want to go directly. It also has a powerful self-healing ability, just like Logan. Can control metal, even Magneto can't do anything to him. It can also freeze all substances and seems to be more powerful than Iceman. Yesterday, I also awakened a spiritual force comparable to Professor X. Now he also tells himself that he has the ability to change the weather. Mystery. Powerful. Almighty. Storm really didn't know how to find the mysterious language to describe her feelings at the moment. Hehe, but our spells are a bit too difficult to learn. There are pros and cons. Qin Hao continued to brag shamelessly. Too difficult? You don't learn anything. It's all tied to the system. Do you have the nerve to say it's too difficult? Really shameless. Okay, I already know this. Next, I'm going back. Master is still waiting for me to practice. Qin Hao saw the benefit, and decisively chose to get out of the way. Qin Mage, can you come to my office? 035X Professor's request. A group of agents play Thor. Qin Mage, can you come to my office? Just when Qin Hao and Storm said they were going to leave, Professor X's spiritual power touched him. What's the matter? Qin Hao bid farewell to Storm and came to Professor X's office. He was very curious, what exactly Professor X wanted from him. Mysterious Eastern Mage, I have seen your mighty and mysterious power. So I would like you to tell your master that I would like to visit her, is it possible? When Professor X spoke, he was obviously a little nervous. In his impression, Qin Hao's versatility has exceeded his imagination. Every time he met, he could find that the other party's strength became more and more terrifying. Every time he met, he could find that the other party had learned a new power. This powerful learning ability. This almighty magic power. It is what he feels miraculous and yearns for. It's just that he doesn't know whether mutants like them can also learn the mysterious oriental magic. Even if he can't, he still wants to have a good relationship with the other party. He even wanted to ask the other party to see if he could help Jean Grey build a spiritual cage again. He had a sense of foreboding. Jean Grey's mind cage is about to get out of control. I can't guarantee this matter, but I will tell my master what you think. Qin Hao didn't guarantee it. Because judging from the attitude of Ancient One last time, she doesn't seem to be very optimistic about mutant. So whether the other party will meet or not, Qin Hao really doesn't know. It's okay, as long as Qin Mage can tell your master about it. As for seeing and not seeing, there is no need to force it. Professor X doesn't force it. He knew that in the end this matter had to be decided by his master. Moreover, it is impossible for him to force a person with such a powerful force. Get it wrong, and this will bring huge amounts of disaster to their mutant. Okay, I understand. I will explain this to the master when I go back. After Qin Hao finished speaking, he drew a secret door and left. This time, he left Camartage for less than 20 minutes. This did not attract the attention of Ancient One Mage. As for what Professor X said, I will talk about it later. What he wants to do now is to see how Mjolnir is doing. It's been over a day and Thor has found Phil Coulson. He opened a secret door. This arcane door is still open in the sky where Thor fell. At the moment, where Thor fell, has been completely surrounded by SHIELD. A temporary experimental base has also been prepared. He also saw a car in the distance, driving towards the base. Not surprisingly, it's Thor and Jane. Because of Qin Hao's participation, Phil Coulson found Mjolnir earlier. And now the time for Thor to find here is also earlier. It was supposed to be a rainy day with lightning and thunder. But at the moment is sunny and sunny. Qin Hao looked at the scene below, and the bad taste came in an instant. I just bound Storm's weather control ability. Isn't at the moment just right? He looked down, his eyes gradually changing. A powerful force is revealed in the secret door. In that desert, the sky gradually gathered dark clouds. Phil Coulson looked up at the sky. This damn weather, it rarely rains in this desert, and now it's actually raining. His mouth exhales fragrance. Check to see if this weather change is related to this hammer. Immediately afterwards, he arranged for people to start paying attention to whether the change in the weather was caused by the hammer. They tested for a long time, but they didn't find anything special about this hammer. It turned out that they found 3 scientists who were also observing these special situations. According to previous operations, their S.H.I.E.L.D. is to confiscate the other party's research equipment and materials. And ask the other party to abide by the confidentiality agreement. But this time, Nick Fury had told them. Just look at it. Don't get too involved in those things. When you meet someone who can pick up that hammer, try to win him over. If you can't win, don't offend the other party. Just don't know what Nick Fury knows. And at this moment, Thor sneaked into the base alone. Sir, someone is approaching our experimental base. Phil Coulson, who was in the lab, got a report from his agents. Leave him alone, let him in, and see if he's the one who can pick up this hammer. Yes, sir. The agents who received the order began to perform one after another. Consciously or unintentionally, he always creates a route for Thor to get close to Mjolnir. Let Thor come to Mjolnir's fall point without encountering anyone. It's just that those S.H.I.E.L.D. agents look at each other as if they were looking at a mouse. Both humans and ghosts are acting, but Thor doesn't know it. Watch Mjolnir on the ground. Thor smiled contentedly. This hammer is his. He came. He wants to go home. 036 Chinhao's bad taste. Thor was struck by lightning. Thor bent down and grabbed Mjolnir's hammer firmly. Use one hand. Thor looks startled. Why can't I hold the hammer myself? He held the hammer with unbelieving hands and exerted force again. Ah! It's a pity that he exhausted all his strength and couldn't pick up the hammer. Why? Why? Thor screamed in pain. Father God! Do you really want to leave yourself alone? Why can't I pick up my own hammer? Phil Coulson saw the scene in front of him. A disappointed expression appeared on his face. Sure enough, this is not the person Nick Fury said needs to be wooed. In this world, is there really someone who can pick up this hammer? There are some doubts in his heart. Carol's figure appeared in his mind again. Pity. Haven't seen it for decades. Take him down, I have something to ask him. He issued orders to a group of agents in the channel. The agents who kept pretending they didn't see Thor. At the moment appeared one after another, completely surrounding Thor. Chinhao, who could see clearly through the door of the secret method, suddenly thought of a bad idea at the moment. If Mjolnir had been struck by lightning, would Thor have misunderstood it? He does it when he thinks about it. Crackling. A thunderous force took shape quickly, and struck straight down at the motionless Mjolnir below. The dazzling white light made everyone here feel blind for a few seconds. In front of their eyes, there is a piece of white. My eyes. Oh, shit. It's struck by lightning. I can't see it anymore. Me too. All the agents closed their eyes at the moment and couldn't get closer to Thor at all. And Thor is worthy of being a strong Asgard. He quickly returned to normal. And then there was the blazing thunder of Mjolnir. A smile appeared on his face again. Father God, you really haven't forgotten me. He walked excitedly towards Mjolnir. Then he grabbed Mjolnir. Woo woo woo. The moment his hand touched Mjolnir, his whole body was directly electrocuted. His body trembled constantly. There was a whining sound from his mouth. His eyes had rolled. He passed out. As Thor gets stunned for the second time. Phil Coulson's open mouth in the lab never closed. What did he see? The stupid big man below actually touched the hammer that had just been hit by the thunder with his own hands. His whole body felt unbelievable. Where did this come from, silly? He clearly saw lightning flashing on the hammer. He dared to reach out and touch the hammer directly. And so excited. What's happening here? Fortunately, this guy is not the one I want to win over. Otherwise, if he works with such a fool, he will probably be worried to death. Bring him up, he said to the agents who had recovered their sight. Chinhao was looking at everything below through the secret door. At the moment, there was a look of astonishment on his face. This Thor really touched that electrified Mjolnir. Fortunately, I have controlled the intensity of the electric current. Otherwise, a fool like Thor would have to die. Have to. This is stupid, let's wait until he is influenced by Jane Duo. Now he is still the little prince of thunder and lightning who wants to go back to Asgard. The door of the secret method that Chinhao closed casually. With his departure, without his support, the dark clouds on the desert gradually dissipated. At this time, Ancient One appeared in front of him. I just felt an abnormal celestial force coming from here. Did you open the door of the secret method again? Ancient One looked at Chinhao and said with a serious face. Master Ancient One, Didn't you show me Mjolnir yesterday? I'm a bit interested in Mjolnir, so I just opened the arcane gate and looked over there. Then I found something interesting. A big tall guy tried to pull out Mjolnir just now, but it failed. Is he just Thor? Qin Hao quickly found sufficient reasons for his actions. Comrade Thor, sorry, you have to take the blame. Ancient One was taken aback for a moment, then returned to normal. She nodded. Yes, that's Thor. At this moment just now, her mental strength went directly to check the scene. That's why I can say it so decisively. This Thor family is too interesting. I can't hold my own hammer now, so I might as well call it Odin's hammer. Qin Hao talked nonsense. Ancient One glanced at him. Don't slander Odin's power at will, he is indeed very powerful, otherwise it would be impossible to unify the 9 realms and be called the King of God. However, I have already felt Odin's divine power weakening. If he really dies, the 9 realms will fall into a war again by then. After she said this, she looked a little strange. Seems to think of something. 037 The departure of Ancient One, Phil Coulson's doubts. Qin Hao saw Ancient One's expression, and he didn't know why Ancient One showed such an expression. Of course he knew that Odin was going to perish. That's what's going to happen in a few years. And in the past few years, the whole Earth has been uneven. Avengers Alliance 1, Avengers, Age of Ultron, Avengers Alliance 3, Avengers Alliance 4. The Earth has been plagued by disasters in recent years. Avengers Alliance 3 in particular, where half of life in the entire universe is gone. This is actually what Qin Hao is most worried about. When the time comes Thanos snaps his fingers, why should he survive? Go to the mirror world? Or go to another dimension? Or go to the quantum world? But now he can't go. Unsure of how to survive, the only option is to stop Thanos. To stop Thanos, his strength has to increase rapidly. Whether it's touching Carol, or Scarlet Witch, or even Phoenix, it's a way out. What he wanted most, definitely, was that Carol's physical body would cross the void. Thanos is a great enemy. And the invasion of the dark dimension Dormammu. He almost swallowed the entire Earth into his dark dimension. After the holy place of Hongji was destroyed, Dormammu has actually swallowed part of the area. Qin Hao subconsciously glanced at Ancient One. Ancient One won't be because Odin is going to die, so she also has the will to die, right? Damn, Odin is dead, if you die too, who will fight against the banner then? Counting on Strange and Wong who have trouble eating? They fought hungry, and almost wiped out the group. Or count on me? No. I still have a lot of magic that I haven't learned yet. I'm still going to wait for decades to touch you, to touch all your magic. Do you want to die? Qin Hao once again felt the urgency and crisis of time. Not only that, but now in the same world as the X-Men. The X-Men are also dishonest. Humans constantly hunt them down. Whether it's Sentinel or genetic corn. In short, this race will be extinct. And not surprisingly, this time the X-Men will continue to make trouble. Because humans have created a potion that can cure the X-Men. This potion also comes from a mutant. This, I have to say, is ironic. Odin is going to die because he's too old to die. Qin Hao could only respond in this way. Whether Odin died or not, he really didn't care much. He didn't want to touch Odin either. Ancient One glanced at Qin Hao. In addition, I'm here to tell you one thing. When I went to Holy Place just now, I observed that something is about to move in the dark dimension recently. I'm going to see what's going on behind the scenes. So in this short period of time, you should practice hard with Moto. I'll come back to check on your progress when the time comes. Ancient One said something that made Qin Hao happy and worried again. She is going to guard and investigate the dark dimension. Let Qin Hao follow Brother Moto to practice. Happily, it is much more convenient for me to leave during this time. The worry is that Ancient One will not have an accident inside. Master Ancient One, do you need help? Qin Hao asked carefully. I don't need it for the time being. I'm just going to have a look. If I find something that needs to be dealt with, I will come and tell you. After Ancient One finished speaking, he disappeared. What disappeared together was the eye of Akmato. Hey, I hope you are okay, it seems that I need to improve my strength faster. Next, Thor's divine power is going to try to see if he can get it. Qin Hao made up his mind, and directly opened a secret door to that remote town. After waiting for a long time, Dr. Eric finally brought Thor back. On that note, Phil Coulson didn't hold back either. Even he is still opening the door for it. Not only that, he also came to this small town in person afterwards. A team of agents is arranged to observe the situation here all the time. Qin Hao is like a bystander, eating pizza. Hey, Phil Coulson. He came to Phil Coulson's side. Then he greeted Phil Coulson casually. This man is also suffering. It was written to death by the screenwriter from the big screen. Then resurrected on the small screen. Appear on the big screen for a few minutes each time. On the small screen, he desperately led a group of agents to protect the Earth. Poor baby. Phil Coulson saw an Oriental man approaching him. He also ate pizza and chatted with him. His men instinctively reached into their pockets for their guns. Oh, don't be nervous, you call and tell Nick Fury, I'm watching over here. Qin Hao said to himself. Phil Coulson got even more nervous when he heard Nick Fury's name. This man knows the director's name. Who is he? Is it also an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D? Who are you? 038 The Asgard foursome arrives. The destroyer is coming. Who are you? Phil Coulson asked with a serious face. Just tell Nick Fury that there is an Eastern Qin mage here, and he will know if you say so. Phil Coulson heard this and immediately called Nick Fury. Phil Coulson, what's the matter? After receiving a call from Phil Coulson, Nick Fury felt a little uneasy. He was afraid of some bad news. There is an Eastern Qin mage beside me, he said. Let me tell you. What did you say? Qin mage is with you. Before Phil Coulson could finish, Nick Fury interrupted him. Yes, he called himself Qin mage. What did he say? Nick Fury said in a serious voice. He used a lot of force to investigate some things. I don't know if I don't investigate. A survey startled. There is such a magical power in the East that exists. And these have been spread over 3 continents. So he attaches great importance to the words that may come from Qin Hao at the moment. Nick Fury's attitude made Phil Coulson extremely shocked. What happened? The director was so solemn when he heard the name. Could it be that there is something special about this person who calls himself Qin mage? He just said one thing, and he is watching over here. Phil Coulson relayed Qin Hao's words to Nick Fury. Understood, then you protect yourselves and don't interfere. Just record everything that happens over there. Nick Fury gave Phil Coulson his latest order. Just look at it. Hearing this order, Phil Coulson was even more shocked. All along, what S.H.I.E.L.D. has to do is very strong. Now it's just a matter of watching. In other words, all the things here are now handed over to the Oriental in front of him? Could it be that this is the person related to the hammer? Yes, boss, I see. Phil Coulson took over immediately. After hanging up the phone, Phil Coulson looked at Qin Hao again with serious eyes. He didn't know what was so great about this Oriental man who called himself Qin mage. But the director is so serious. He also has to be on his toes. Qin mage, do you have any plans? No, just watch it, it's still early. Let's go and sit next door. Qin Hao casually took Phil Coulson away. Phil Coulson knows a lot about SHIELD. Is Nick Fury's right-hand man. Qin Hao even wanted to read some information in his mind. Whether to do it or not, he hasn't decided yet. A group of agents are distributed throughout the town. Phil Coulson chatted casually with Qin Hao first. He had no idea what Qin Hao was waiting for. Not long after, his phone rang. "Sir, we have monitored a strong energy gathering not far from the town. The scientists working on Mjolnir, at the moment, monitored another powerful force." "What?" "Send someone to check immediately." Phil Coulson made arrangements immediately. "Qin Mage, I have to leave first." "No, things will be more interesting here later than there. The things over there won't run away, and the things here will be lost at a glance." "Are you sure you want to leave?" Qin Hao heard the call between Phil Coulson and the other side. He knew that this time it should be the Asgard foursome who came. And soon, the destroyer should also come. Wait until Thor regains his divine power, and then touch it himself. He wanted to see if he could touch the divine power in Thor. His at the moment body is still a mortal body after all. Even with the self-healing ability, it's impossible for him to survive in space. It is even more impossible to withstand the power of a fixed star like Thor. Moreover, Thor's lifespan is as high as 5,000 years. Can I feel that kind of longevity myself? All of this is worth looking forward to. Phil Coulson was apprehensive, but decided to stay. This mage seems to know what's going on over there. Not long after, 4 warriors in armor came to the town. They quickly found Thor's location. After a few people exchanged words, Thor was stunned. God the Father is not dead. Loki lied to himself. His heart is lost and angry. Just then, a huge amounts of metal man came to town. Its huge body glowed with fire. One after another pillars of fire blew up the town upside down. The explosion outside caught everyone's attention. Thor and his party saw the huge body over there from a distance. "Jane, you are leaving." Thor spoke. Now, he must first let the doctoral trio leave. Here, they won't be of any help. Let them go, leave it to us. The Asgard quartet at the moment is ready. Thor looks over to the Asgard foursome, wanting to stay and help too. "My friends, I am only a mortal, and now I will hinder you and even kill you. But I can help evacuate these people to a safe place." He is now very aware of his strength. It is also clear that doing so now is helping. After hearing Thor's words, Jane Foster was obviously not happy. "If you want to stay, then I want to stay too. Then let's evacuate everyone together." A group of people quickly ran towards various rooms and shops. "Everyone, run away. It's dangerous. Quick, leave quickly, go through the back door. Run. Want dinner? Come back later." Those who had heard the explosion in the distance all got up and fled under such shouts. Phil Coulson looked at everything in the distance, and then at Qin Hao who was still eating here. Qin Mage, why don't we go? 039 Are you Thor or God of Hammer? Qin Mage, why don't we go? Phil Coulson has seen how terrifying that huge amounts of iron bumps can be. Whether there is anyone or not, the opponent is attacked by a beam of light. The people in the small town had no choice but to escape. "Hey, the guy who grabbed me, run away. And the Oriental man next to you, run away too." Thor found Phil Coulson. "Immediately greet the two to leave." "Thor, are you going to keep running like this?" Thor is going elsewhere. But he heard a question that made him very concerned. Looking back, he saw that it was the Oriental man. Not only. Amid such terrifying explosions, the Oriental man actually ate there with a calm expression on his face. There was no fear at all of the arrival of the destroyer. Thor at the moment was a little puzzled and a little angry. "Hey, maybe you don't understand what's going on at the moment, but one thing, all you have to do is run. This is the ultimate weapon of our Asgard, not something you mortals of Midgard can understand." He growled angrily. Really? Since it's the ultimate weapon, do you think your four friends can deal with the destroyer? Thor was taken aback. Destroyer? This Oriental knows the destroyer. Who are you? How do you know about the destroyer? Thor rushed over in a few steps, looking at Jin Hao with a serious face. It doesn't matter who I am, what matters is that the son of the King of God, the Master of Thunder, the future King of Asgard, Thor. With so many titles, is it nothing without a hammer? So, are you Thor? Or Hammer God? Jin Hao slowly asked a question that made Thor stunned. Is he Thor or Hammer God? If I lost my hammer, would I really be nothing? Look carefully, your friends are fighting for you, but you can only run away. So what's the point of them coming to you? When Jin Hao finished speaking, the beards of the Asgard Four were slapped away by the destroyer. Thor's heart sinks. His former partner was fighting, but he could only flee. Is this me now? Self without Mjolnir? But this time, it did attract the attention of the destroyer. Asgard female warrior Sif holds a spear and pierces the destroyer back and forth. The destroyer, which was shining with a strong red light of energy, went out instantly. Sif had a smug look on his face. A smile finally appeared on Thor at the moment's face. My partner. Reliable. Eastern people, don't underestimate our warrior of Asgard. You know, they are warriors who have been following me in the 9 realms and fighting constantly. Their strength, their fighting skills, and their cooperation are beyond what you can imagine. Hee, is it? Then they deserve to die. Jin Hao said indifferently. At this moment, the flame-out destroyer at the moment began to change. Ka. There was a sound of metal rubbing against each other. The destroyers who were originally face down and were nailed to the ground turned over one by one. The beam of light on the face goes directly towards Sif. Luckily, Sif jumped out of the way when he saw the destroyer move. Otherwise, this one will probably blow her to pieces. Thor felt horrified when he saw this scene. He knows how powerful the destroyer is. But the destroyer was on their side at that time. Only the enemy feels the strength of the other side. But this time, they stood on the opposite side of the destroyer. Only then did we know how much pressure the enemies of the destroyers had. Eastern, since you know the destroyer, can you help deal with it? Thor at the moment actually pinned his hopes on Jin Hao. Hear Thor's words. Phil Coulson also looked at Jin Hao curiously. This mysterious Oriental man, director Nick Fury, tells everything to him. Could it be that the other party is really powerful? Jin Hao glanced at the destroyer, he could definitely deal with it. But at the moment he didn't want to make a move. This is Odin's test for Thor. It was Odin's first step in making Thor the real Thor. Cannot. Jin Hao clearly rejected Thor. But this sentence has become another meaning in Thor's ears. He also can't handle the destroyer. While the two were talking, the Asgard foursome were beaten by the terrifying light waves of the destroyer and could only dodge. Even dodge is not enough to dodge. Thor at the moment finally made up his mind. He walked slowly towards the destroyer. All you guys, leave now, you have to stop Loki. He came before the Asgard foursome and said. How about you? I have my plan. The Asgard Four really thought Thor had his plans. As they turned to leave, Thor walked towards the destroyer single-handedly. With their own consciousness. 040 Thor Awakening. Oh by Karma. Thor walked toward the destroyer step by step. Loki, whatever I did to mislead you. No matter what I did to make you like this. I am truly sorry. However, these people are innocent. The few of them have fought with us for thousands of years, and they shouldn't die like this. Kill them, they are of no use to you. Other mortals here will not affect you in the slightest. You don't have to get the blood of these people at all. If you really hate me that much, then just kill me. At the moment, he already has his consciousness. He walked up to the destroyer and looked at it quietly. He knew that Loki could see everything from here. He was waiting for Loki's response. Hearing Thor's words, the beam of energy lighted by the destroyer, at the moment gradually extinguished. A smile spreads across Thor's face. It seems that this younger brother has been enlightened by himself. The other people in the distance watched the destroyer's extinguished pillar of fire, and they also breathed a sigh of relief. Especially the Asgard foursome. They are desperately working in the lower realm, isn't it just for this matter? Loki stopped doing it, maybe he just reformed? Phil Coulson was even more shocked when he saw everything in front of him. Luckily Nick Fury's orders were to leave them alone. Otherwise, rely on their way of doing things. The agent of S.H.I.E.L.D has to kneel together. Fighting them is really courting death. The destroyer extinguished the flames, then turned. The smile on Thor's face widened. Sure enough, my younger brother is still. Boom. Before he could finish his thoughts, the destroyer slapped him back. Thor, hit hard, flew straight out. No. Seeing this scene, Jane flew over. No, Thor, no. Jane held Thor in her arms, and she was left with nothing but sadness and despair. It's okay, I'm fine. Thor lies in her arms, still comforting her constantly. But then, Thor closed his eyes. Phil Coulson's face was serious. The other party died just like that. His at the moment is still unbelievable. Although he doesn't believe Thor's identity. But a person just died in front of himself. Still a little too much. OM. At this moment, rapid tearing air sounds sounded from the distant sky. No, the show is just beginning. Seeing the rapidly approaching thing, Qin Hao was completely relieved. He was also worried that because of his participation, if Thor couldn't awakening, it would be a damn thing. For this reason, he even suppressed his curiosity to the extreme. If it weren't for the worry that Thor wouldn't be able to awakening. He wanted to see if Mjolnir could be bound. This boomerang-like artifact comes with pathfinding function. Plus it can summon thunder. Paired with its own weather control, it seems like a great combination. However, he held back. Qin Hao looked at Mjolnir who was approaching rapidly, and then waved. A secret door quickly appeared, directly teleporting Dr. Jane Foster and Dr. Eric Selvig who were still struggling. What's going on? We came here so suddenly. Jane Foster and Dr. Eric Selvig were stunned. Aren't the two pulling away? How did you go directly to a distant place now? Not only were the two of them dumbfounded, but everyone else was dumbfounded. This sudden scene made everyone focus on Qin Hao. By karma. Phil Coulson, who was closest to Qin Hao, blurted out I by karma. This Oriental who has always been indifferent. What did you do just now? He waved. A thing with a yellow halo appears. This aperture will run. It can also take people from one place to another. Okay, then you stand aside, and you don't have to participate in the rest of the matter. Qin Hao walked towards the destroyer. Let everyone stand far away. Hey, Easterners, don't approach the destroyer. Sif shouted to Qin Hao from a distance. It's okay, leave it to me. Qin Hao looked at Thor who caught Mjolnir with one hand and gradually recovered his divine armor. Thor, are you okay? Thunder and lightning flashed on Thor. But he heard a voice next to him. Who hasn't left yet? The power of thunder dissipated, and a person was constantly approaching him. The destroyer in the distance clearly saw the change in Thor. It turned directly, and a strong beam of light gushed straight at Thor. But at this moment, the approaching figure directly blocked Thor's body. Mysterious Orientals. Hey, get out of the way. You're no match. Humph, if I hadn't waited for your awakening, I would have killed it a long time ago. Qin Hao waved his hand, and a secret door appeared. The destroyer's mighty shockwave disappeared directly into the arcane gate. But right after it, another secret door appeared behind it. All of that powerful energy directly bombarded the destroyer. By karma. End of the chapter. Like and subscribe for more videos like this.